In the ever-growing world of backpacks suited for one-bag traveling, there are more and more backpacks suited for one specific kind of traveler. Either it is the urban traveler, the hiker, the casual traveler, the hardcore one-bagger, or the traveling photographer. There is a product out there filling that niche. Hello guys, this is H.M. Miller and this is my review of the Thule Covert DSRL backpack 32 liter. I am something of a Thule fan. All my research trying to find the perfect one-bag travel backpacks has led me to Thule in the past. They're often cheaper than the competition, especially if you get it on a sale. They have tons of useful features and are made out of sturdy and lasting materials. Is the Thule Covert DSRL backpack 32 liter up for the task, providing a more camera-centric take on it? According to Thule, this backpack is a 3-in-1 backpack, something I guess it can be used just as a camera backpack, purely as a one-bag travel backpack, or as a camera backpack with space for clothes and everything needed for traveling. As much as like my other backpacks, bringing camera gear and accessing it while traveling is often cumbersome given that those backpacks aren't really made for that purpose. And yeah, camera equipment can quickly get heavy, breaking what many one-baggers consider their holy rule of minimal and lightweight one-bag traveling. So what is one-bag traveling? For many, it is considered the art of minimalist traveling. It is the idea of bringing just the amount of stuff you actually need, not necessarily being hindered in any way by bringing all the nice-to-haves that you end up not using and just takes up space and weight. Thule's backpacks are distinct for being minimal yet functional, and this being a camera backpack is by no means an exception. On its exterior of the backpack, there are numerous design traits more similar to the Landmark 40. Zippers are covered on the front, hiding them away, and maybe making them a little bit less interesting for everyone with long fingers. You will find 2 pockets on the front, with this backpack probably being the successor to the Covert DSRL Rolltop backpack. There are pockets on the front as well. I do like that Thule has gone away for the small pockets on the previous versions on the front and opted for a more minimal approach, reminiscent of both the Subterra 34 and the Landmark 40. Like the Landmark 40, there is a hip belt that can be stowed away when needed. I do not feel it bulges too much out when it's tucked in, but others may feel that. Unlike the Landmark 40, there is no way to tuck in the shoulder strap. One thing I'm a little bit skeptical about is the location of the biggest quick access pocket at the bottom front. This haven't been an issue, but it only holds very flat items, and also this backpack is lying a lot on its front, making it prone to damaging the stuff lying inside of it. This haven't really been a problem, as I have been mindful about what I've been putting inside of the pockets and mostly not using the pockets at all. With this backpack being a roll top, you can expand its storage by the maximum of 32 liter, making it suitable for travel. On the clamshell itself, there are 3 pockets, one fitting a 15-inch laptop, one for a smaller laptop or tablet or a magazine, and a smaller mesh pocket. Although I will not use them at all time, they are very nice to have. Inside the main compartment, the bottom is loaded with a camera bag, which can be removed. More on that later. And the top compartment, that can be held into place by this mesh covering. One thing I had an issue with my previous Sloper backpack was when I was using it as a travel backpack, I couldn't open up the roll top that much without stuff falling out. Here, there is no risk of this when you're partially opening up the clamshell to get either camera equipment, your laptop, or anything else. If you at times do not need camera equipment and only want to use the backpacks in everyday carry or traveling only, you can take the bag out and completely zip down this pocket, leaving you with a whole main compartment available. I think this is a very nice option to have, especially if you do not want to have that many specialist backpacks. And also because this is not a cheap backpack, making it more of an investment. In terms of how much you can fit into it, you can definitely fit a lot of stuff in here, and can also overfill it thanks to the roll top. The backpack is not as deep as your regular travel backpack or camera backpack, and therefore it gets quite tall when you overstuff it. In many cases, this is not an issue, but on the more size-aware airlines, a backpack measuring about 60 centimeters in height, which this one does when it's overfilled, it could be a little bit too tall. On the side, there are side access zippers for accessing your camera gear. There is one side pocket on both sides for either a tripod, water bottle, or even a sandwich. One thing I had some issues with in the past has been a water bottle falling out with accessing the side pocket. This goes for both Subterra 34 and this one. The solution was fairly easy as I got a water bottle I can attach with a strap carabiner on. Bringing a dedicated camera is highly subjective, and I guess most people would be happy enough with their phone as their camera. My challenge was to bring a camera with interchangeable lens mount plus 3 lenses. I highly recommend mirrorless cameras. The lenses are newer, lighter, and more compact as well. Next thing to consider is whether you actually need a big full-frame sensor or a DSLR camera at all. Full-frame being the biggest commonly used sensor size equals the bigger lenses. As by now, the APS-C sensor size is probably the best balance between sensor size and the lens size. You can also opt for a Micro Four Thread setup and will be happy for that as well. In this video, I will be using the Micro Four Threads Panasonic GX80 or 85 depending on your region as an example. I have brought the excellent Olympus 75mm 1.8, the Olympus 45mm 1.8 and the Olympus 25mm 1.8. Being just 25% of the size of a full frame, you will get that crop, and the low light performance could be an issue in a lot of dimmer and darker scenarios. If you're traveling daytime and you would like to have a great zoom range, I recommend the Panasonic 14-140. It's a really big lens, but it will give you a lot of freedom to choose focal length in daytime, and you can pair up with a 25mm either from Olympus or Panasonic at a really low cost. If low light is crucial to you, I would recommend looking at some APS-C sensor cameras with some fast primes. I also recommend bringing 2 extra batteries as the battery life is not all that great. This camera has an in-body stabilization which is a lot of power as well. If you want to save up space and weight, just bring a micro USB cable and use a power bank to charge it up, but bear in mind that this camera only charges when it's turned off. If you want something simpler, I recommend looking into a good point-and-shoot cameras. For the high-end offerings out there, I recommend the Fujifilm X100V. These only have a 35mm equivalent fixed prime. You can also get a few screw attachment lenses for a wider or narrower field of view. Other good options are the Panasonic Lumix LX100 Mark II or the Sony RX100 series, the Canon G1X Mark III, all of which are offering zoom lenses. So who is this backpack for? I tried out the backpacks in all of its configuration as a pure camera bag, one bag travel backpack, and something in between as a traveling filmmaker. Owning a smaller system is a killer combo for bringing your camera gear along with your one bag travel adventure. Traveling with this backpack has been a breeze. This backpack has design elements from the Landmark 40 with its beige interior and covering flaps folded materials on the front. This backpack goes head to head against the Wonder Provoke with its roll top, similar interior configuration and metal hooks instead of buckles. If you opt for the Provoke 31 in a non-American country, you should be aware of the local extra taxes you'll have to pay for it, and the photography bundle cost, at the time of this review, $360. This makes the Provoke something more of a $400 investment, with approximately import taxes added up. In this way, the Covert DSRL 32L is very well priced and premium camera backpack. As I mentioned earlier in this review, the compromises does not have to be all that bad if you balance out your choices in terms of weight and figure out what you really need or not. And that's it guys, what do you think? How do you think it compares to the Wonder Provoke 31 or the Peak Design Everyday Carry? Are there any other backpacks you think this compares really well with? Leave a comment below, and as usual, like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this.